Hello, everyone. So, today's case, we're going to be talking about Amir Jennings, and I do want to give a trigger warning because this case is involving a child, a missing child. So, if these cases are too heavy for you, I completely understand. Cases about children get me as well, so I will see you in the next couple of videos. Probably not the next one because I believe that one is also going to be about a child. Um, so I'll just see you the next time that a child isn't involved. But like I said today, we are going to be talking about a very young child, only a 1 year old. And it's very sad. It's always sad, especially when the parents are involved, because those are people that a child should feel safe around. You wouldn't think a parent would harm their child, but unfortunately, that's not the case here. Also, there's not very many photos of Amir that I was able to find, but there are plenty of his mother and the court process and all that, so those will be throughout the video. But I do want to apologize. For one, my voice. I filmed a few videos tonight, and I'm also getting over being sick, so my voice is going in and out. And also, of course, the lack of photos and information, like always. But let's go ahead and get into this. So Amir, like I said, was only 1 year old when he went missing on November 22nd, 2011 from Columbia, South Carolina. He was born on June 28th, 2010, and he would be, how old would he be today? Hold on, let me do the math real quick. 13. He would be about 13 today. He stood at about 2 feet 2 inches, 25 pounds, and was wearing a black bomber jacket and black K-Swiss sneakers. He has black hair, brown eyes, and at the time of his disappearance he had about 4 to 6 teeth with a gap between his upper front teeth, and his nickname is Mir. Obviously, there's going to be quite a difference if he is still out there between a 1 year old and now a 13-year-old boy. But at the time, that is what he looked like. So Amir was last seen with his mother, Zena Jennings, and although he was last seen by his grandmother, um, so sorry, I had to cut out there for a second, but he was last seen with his mother, Zena, but I believe that was physically, but he was last seen by his grandmother, Jocelyn, his dad, Roderick, and on surveillance video on November 23rd, 2011. So Amir and Zena were not reported missing until December 8th, 2011 by Jocelyn, and that was after she found out Zena was a suspect in a hit-and-run accident. She had thought that they had been in Atlanta, but when she asked about Amir, she only got vague answers. On December 24th, Zena was located after she crashed her burgundy 2004 Dodge Neon at Millwood Avenue and Lady Street in Columbia near her mom's home. Amir wasn't with her at the time. When she was asked about Amir, she, at first, claimed that she didn't have any children. Then she admitted Amir was her son and said that he was staying with friends and relatives in various places, but refused to give any further information about him. On December 29th, she was charged with child neglect because she wouldn't produce Amir or say where he was or what had happened to him. Cadaver dogs indicated the scent of human remains inside Zena's car, and trunk and back seat, and authorities found a blood-stained baby blanket in the trunk. The blood was Amir's. A shovel and some of Amir's clothing were also found inside the car. I don't know about you, but that bit was really giving me Casey Anthony vibes. Um, her and her child telling her mother that she's in a different place than where she actually is. Actually being very close to home. And then the mother being found without her child. And then saying she doesn't have any children, and then, yeah, I do have children, but I don't know where they are, or they're safe, or wherever. And then refusing to produce the child. And then cadaver dogs hitting on human remains in Zena's car. That all just gave me Casey Anthony vibes when I first read this. Like, it's crazy how similar that whole scenario felt. So, Jocelyn says that Xena had been a good student at Winthrop University, but after Amir's birth, she struggled with depression and started acting erratically. She has been diagnosed with schizophrenia and prescribed antipsychotic medication. Amir's dad had little contact with him, although he did see his son and Xena over the Thanksgiving holidays in 2011. November 9th, not long before he disappeared, Xena was arrested for prostitution and marijuana possession in Atlanta. She'd been staying there with her half sister, and she frequently traveled between Columbia to Atlanta and also Charlotte, North Carolina. She was pregnant. Sorry, she was pregnant at the time of her arrest, and in September of 2012, she gave birth to her daughter. Prosecution witnesses at her trial testified that Xena had physically abused Amir, didn't supervise him properly, and talked about possibly selling him or giving him away. I'm sorry, my voice keeps cutting in and out. She was convicted of unlawful conduct to a child and sentenced to 10 years in prison, but was released after only 4 years. You have to be fucking kidding me. That pissed me off the first time I read it. Police have reached out to her multiple times since, and she has not cooperated with them. They said that she doesn't appear at all to be interested in locating Amir. Extensive searches have turned up no evidence of Amir, and police believe that he is probably dead. And his case is still unsolved. And that is the information I have for you about Amir. So, I 100% believe that Xena did something to him. Now, I'm not saying that people with these mental illnesses or disabilities are always like this, that they're all bad, or anything like that. I'm just saying that I think her depression, her schizophrenia, and all that might have played a role in what happened. I think maybe she was having a really hard time, um, and maybe she harmed Amir in some way. According to some of these witnesses, they say that she already didn't supervise him properly, and that she abused him. So maybe she was abusing him one day. She went harder than usual. Something happened, or maybe she intentionally wanted to harm him. Maybe she put his body in her car and then dumped him somewhere. To me, that seems the most likely. But I 100% think that she did something to him. Um, I can't think of who else would even be a suspect. Maybe, Roderick or Jocelyn. You could always say them, but I 100% think it's Xena. Um, I think she just had a lot of issues going on. She was arrested for prostitution and drug possession and all of that. So I don't think she necessarily had the best life. And then on top of that, she has depression, schizophrenia. And according to her mother, she was doing really good. And then after his birth, she wasn't doing so hot. So in a way, it's like maybe she didn't even want Amir. She certainly didn't act like it. She didn't act like a good mother in any way, according to witnesses. So I definitely think that, maybe one day she was abusing him and she went a little too hard. Um, or she just outright did something to him and then disposed of his body. That's what I personally think happened. Um, I can't believe that no searches have turned up nothing. It's crazy to me, but I don't know why there would be, blood stains in the trunk of her car that belongs to her son and all of that if she didn't have a hand in it. And that makes me really sad. Of course, it's always sad when it's a child, but especially when it's the parent. Like, that's just another level of ick. Like, how can you do that to the child you carried? I'll never be able to understand it, but I mean, there could always be, a chance that she gave him to someone because someone claimed, like she talked about selling him to someone or giving him away. So, maybe she, like, did harm him in some way and that's why there was blood or something in the car. And maybe she ended up just giving him away, selling him to someone, and that's why she's not speaking up. Because, you can't just sell a child. And maybe she doesn't even know where he is now. But I do think it's more likely that he is no longer with us. But let me know what you guys think down below. Please be respectful in terms of, Amir and Roderick and Jocelyn. Um, and just, be kind because a little boy did pass away. But let me know your thoughts down below, like always. And if any of his family comes across this video, I am so sorry about Amir. I hope that you guys either get answers from Xena. She finally starts cooperating, or his body is found, or he's found alive or something. I sincerely hope you guys get the answers you guys deserve. But thank you so much for listening to Amir's story, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye, guys.